After analyzing the latest market data, I can pinpoint exactly when the AI layoff bomb hits. 2026. What if AI isn't strengthening every member of your development team, but quietly setting the stage for mass extinction? As a software agency founder, I've watched AI get so good at writing code that an entire layer of developers has become redundant. And I'll show you exactly what you need to master if you want to survive and thrive in 2026. In this video, I'll reveal this dangerous new reality and share a simple framework any developer can use to survive it. I've pulled fresh 2025 data to prove it. For example, employment for young developers has already dropped 20% since late 2022. In this world, you must be exceptional or risk becoming irrelevant. Let's get straight to the number driving the 2026 layoffs. Productivity gains. Companies aren't buying AI because it's a trend. They're investing because it dramatically increases output, meaning they need fewer people to do the same amount of work. This is the real fear of what is coming. The initial speed boost is staggering. A 2024 study from McKinsey found that developers using generative AI tools finish coding tasks twice as fast. That's not just efficiency, it's actually replacing the traditional work of junior developers. For example, developers using GitHub Copilot completed coding tasks in half the time versus without it. Put another way, the right AI tools let a team do almost twice as much work with the same number of people. And it's not just speed. AI is now handling the junior level coding tasks like bug fixes, small features, and basic refactors that new developers used to do while learning on the job. That's the kind of hands-on experience new developers used to rely on, and it's disappearing very fast. And this shift isn't a future worry. It's an immediate, quantifiable reality forcing companies to restructure. The data confirms the junior developer role is actually already disappearing. The market is collapsing. A Stanford digital economy study recorded that employment for developers aged 22 to 25 has dropped nearly 20% since generative AI tools became widespread between 2022 and 2025. Hiring is shifting. The Swiss Institute of Artificial Intelligence found that job postings for developers with 2 to 4 years of experience fell by 6%, while roles demanding 5+ years went up by the same amount. So companies aren't just cutting jobs, they're restructuring for smaller, more elite teams. Also, entry-level hiring is freezing. According to Stack Overflow, in 2024, hiring for entry-level tech positions dropped 25% year on year. If you're a junior developer or a startup leader relying on entry-level talent, this data is your critical warning. The landscape has changed, and you need the right tools to stay ahead. Now for the good news. You have the tools to arm yourself to be ready. If you want to survive the 2026 layoff wave and become one of the high-caliber engineers companies now seek, you must stop looking for shortcuts and embrace the foundational expertise that AI demands. It's a good time to bring anyone who wants to stay in the game back to the basics they've been allowed to ignore for the past 10 years, when companies just had to hire any developers they could find. The original developers, the OGs of software development. Lessons from people like Martin Fowler and Uncle Bob, also known as Robert Martin, are now more critical than ever. These OG developers provide the foundational knowledge in architecture, clean code, and design patterns that give you the expertise to use AI safely and effectively. Martin Fowler's work on refactoring, microservices, and architectural patterns gives you the blueprint to understand the intent behind the code AI writes. You can't prompt for a scalable architecture unless you know what a scalable architecture is. And Uncle Bob's principles of clean code, solid, and software craftsmanship give you the standards to check AI's work against. You need to know what clean code looks like to spot the subtle, hard-to-maintain messes AI can create. Anyone hoping to be a great software developer who will become one of the few puppet masters of AI should read and, more importantly, understand the lessons from these developers. It's important that you understand reading does not equal understanding. Deep comprehension of these design and scaling principles is what separates those who will lead AI-driven teams from those replaced by them. It can take months of trying to really understand what these concepts mean in the reality of creating code for a real application. This requirement for mastery is the same principle that propelled James Dyson through 5,126 prototypes. Expertise isn't born from shortcuts, it's born from deliberate practice. When I was learning solid principles, I had a post-it note for each principle stuck to my computer screen until I was certain I was using them properly within my normal code writing. It took nearly 2 months to remove every post-it boast it with confidence, but the knowledge remains forever and is now even more valuable. And so what does this mean for businesses? What this means is that they must stop hiring for simple output and start looking for deep expertise. One non-obvious problem faced by a company is that you need a good developer to really know when they see another good developer. It's the only way to hire the right team. The best way I've found to assure this for companies I've worked with who want to create their own development team is to approach a development agency and ask them to help recruit a good development lead who can act as the first AI code director. He can then assist with quality control on all future hires. So AI speeds up coding for everyone, but the biggest gains go to the experienced developers. That makes junior roles not just redundant, but actually risky. Without experience, juniors often can't spot AI's hidden flaws. The data makes this crystal clear. The people prompting AI have to be the right people. They need the architectural knowledge, coding standards, and the ability to create code that can scale across multiple instances and regions. Take efficiency, for example. In real-world enterprise studies, AI coding assistants helped less experienced developers get up to 39% more tasks done. That might sound great, but seniors only saw a smaller boost of up to 16%, and that's because it's their oversight that turns juniors' work into production-ready code. Then there's the architectural problem. Senior developers see the biggest payoff because they know the deep architectural patterns that juniors just don't. They know what to ask for, and even more importantly, what to reject. And here's the real danger. This reliance on expertise is serious. 67% of senior developers say juniors struggle to spot critical AI flaws. Seniors are even warning that juniors using AI often have zero clue what the code actually does. Of course, AI saves time, but it also creates a new kind of work. You need to review and validate every suggestion carefully, which juniors often can't do. So, to survive, you need to evolve. From coder to AI code director, one of the few people who can really master AI as a tool. The shortcut mentality that's easy to fall into with these new AI coding tools is the focus on extracting code fast and avoiding years of difficult practice. This has a name: vibe coding. And it's building a digital quicksand that will trigger mass layoffs. Coined by AI expert Andre Carpati, vibe coding is the code first, understand later rush. You prompt a tool and it spits out working code, often with minimal tweaks. This prompt and pray method is tempting companies. It's fast, but here's the brutal truth. The speed is building a house of cards ready to collapse. All this speed comes with a hidden cost: technical debt, the future rework cost of shortcuts. AI-generated code often adds massive unseen complexity. Look at the numbers. An analysis of 211 million lines of code found an 800% spike in duplicated code from AI tools. That's wasted time, clogged systems, and slower development in the future. And the scale is staggering. By 2027, AI-driven technical debt could hit $1.5 trillion globally. Every vibe coder is generating as much technical debt as 10 regular developers in half the time. And possibly even worse than the debt, the security vulnerabilities. While technical debt is a growing credit card bill, the true nightmare that will lead to business failures and layoffs is the security crisis. AI-generated code is dangerously vulnerable. The Veracode 2025 Gen AI Code Security Report found that an alarming 45% of code introduced a critical OWASP top 10 flaw. These are not minor bugs. Issues like cross-site scripting showed up in 86% of the Java samples. AI isn't learning, it's replicating insecure patterns from its training data. And these aren't just numbers. In the real world, a payment gateway vibe coded with AI approved $2 million in fraudulent transactions because input validation was weak. Another SaaS startup that I won't name leaked user data and Stripe keys were stolen. Here's the hard truth. Speed comes at a cost. In one study, experienced developers actually became 19% slower using AI because they had to fix the mess left behind. If you want a deeper dive into vibe coding, the mistakes, the risks, and how to spot it before it ruins a project, check out my vibe coding video. If you're committed to the grit and mastery required, here is a dead simple 5-step framework used by top engineering teams to avoid the vibe coded catastrophe and survive the 2026 reckoning. Step 1. Accelerate, don't replace. Use AI to generate boilerplate, draft tests, and explain confusing code, but never outsource the design. Your prompt should reflect a deep understanding of the architecture you want. Planning still matters most. Step 2. Enforce guardrails. Every line of AI-generated code must be treated as a suggestion, not a solution. Implement rigorous code reviews and unit tests, and static code analysis on all AI output. Use the solid principles as your internal checklist. Step 3. Quantify your debt. Technical debt is the enemy of velocity. Track duplication and complexity metrics and refactor proactively. Remember, a quantitative analysis estimates the global economy will accumulate over $1.5 trillion of technical debt by 2027. Don't contribute to it. Step 4. Build a hybrid team. Pair any juniors using AI with seniors for oversight. You must train them on the fundamentals. The senior is the firewall protecting the codebase from the junior's inexperience and the AI's flaws. And step 5, prioritize security. This is non-negotiable. Scan all AI-generated code for flaws. Avoid outdated patterns and use modern tools like Veracode Fix and Snike to automate security analysis. The problem isn't just technical, it's a human one. We've already become too reliant on AI, which is why human oversight and accountability are more critical now than ever before. The winners will be those who master blending AI generation with foundational human oversight. Without proper oversight, your codebase can quickly become a liability that costs real money just to maintain, driving the layoffs I've warned about. All the links are in the description. Veracode report, Martin Fowler and Uncle Bob resources, and a strategy call to audit your code. If this video helped, share it with a friend who works in tech so they know what's coming. Until next time.